Hello Sangha, welcome to day 30, our penultimate day of practice together. We're going to just do a few rounds of Jyotiraham. So I am light, okay? Jyotiraham. 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 So let yourself try and cultivate this feeling that at the deepest part of you, you're light, okay? You're peace, your stillness, we can get caught up with all the craziness of life and forget that we are, that we're actually, at our deepest part, we're much more than just the mundane stuff that we get caught up with. So let's start in a kneeling position today. So transfer yourself to a kneeling position. We're going to work on a posture called Hanumanasana. And we'll just have a little bit of a play with that, okay? So earlier in the month we did a lot of lunges, so we're going to just take one foot forward and do a lunge toward it, okay? And take it out to the side if that feels okay, and forward. Maybe further out to the side, sink your hip and your heel, maybe drop your knee out and back in, and play with your lunge again, okay? So all these variations that you've been given over the month for lunging. And then once you find somewhere at the front of your mat, we'll work with our balance a bit. So see if you can bring your left foot up off the floor. Use your arms to help support your balance. And then see if you can place your foot back down. Inhale up with both arms. Exhale, go wide and sink your hips. Inhale, reach up a little bit back. Exhale, come forward, frame your foot. And bend your knee and straighten your knee here. Like ish. These are all, bend it as much as you can, straighten it as much as you can. Inhale up with both arms. Exhale, go wide and sink your hips. Squeeze your upper body back, your lower body forward. Inhale up a little bit back. Exhale, come forward, frame your foot. Walk your hands back, lift your toes, and start to circle your foot around. Change the direction of your circles, trying to free it up a little bit. And then let your foot come flat again. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, go wide. This time, take your left arm over your left leg, your right arm over your right leg, and sink a little lower. Inhale up, a little bit back. Exhale, come forward, frame your foot. Walk your fingers back, lift your toes. See if you can come all the way back and let your hips rest on your heels. Now, if that's not possible, you stay up here and we lean over the front leg. But if you can be here, be here. Take your peace fingers between your big toe and your second toe, and if it's possible to lift it up, lift it up. Woo! You can use your hand on the floor if that's helpful. And then let it come down. Inhale all the way back up again. And exhale, come down inside your foot. Take your foot a little wider, slide your back knee a little further back. If it's your left foot that's forward, see if you can lower your right elbow a bit to the floor, and then inhale up with your left hand. So this is all prep for working in a couple of things we'll do with Hanumanasana. Drop your knee out, just get everything a little loose. See how it's feeling. Slide your hand back underneath your shoulder, slide your left knee back. Bring both knees together, walk your hands back towards your knees, and let your hips rest on your heels. Good. Let's take our right foot forward and lunge. Take it a little wider. See how things are feeling for you today. Taking it over, making circles. Wider still, sink your hips onto your heels. If you want to drop your knee away from the center. And I'll show you from the side so you can see a little bit more. And then you can start to lunge again. taking your foot where you want. And when you find somewhere steady for your foot at the front, let yourself get a little bit unsteady, okay? So bring your foot up, allow yourself to balance. Good. And then let your right foot come down, do a lunge again. You can maybe make little circles. And then find somewhere for your foot that feels steady. Inhale up with both arms. Exhale, go wide and sink your hips. Inhale, come up a little bit back. Exhale, come forward and frame your foot. Leave your toes on the floor, but bend your knee and then straighten your leg. Bend your knee, straighten your leg. Just seeing how that feels for you tonight, or today, or this afternoon, or in the middle of the night. And when you're ready, inhale up with both arms again. Exhale, go wide and sink your hips. Good. Inhale up, a little bit back. Exhale, come forward, frame your foot. Walk your fingertips back, lift your toes, and circle around again. So this big sweeping movement with your foot. Trying to get all the soft tissue at the back of your leg, sliding and gliding. Good. Let your foot come flat again. Inhale all the way up again. Exhale, go wide. Right arm over your right leg, left arm over your left leg. Inhale up a little bit back. Exhale, come forward, frame your foot. Walking all the way back if you can, letting your hip rest on your heel, sinking into a kneel and a straight leg. And then see if you can reach forward, hold your big toe. Remember, you can stay here if this is too much for this leg, and raise this leg up. Okay, use your arm to balance a little bit. Let it come down, inhale all the way back up. Exhale, let both hands come down inside your foot, taking your right foot a little wider. Slide your left knee a little further back. If you can walk your left hand forward and lower your elbow, do that. Maybe drop your right knee out from the center. And then inhale up with your right hand. Exhale, let it come down. Both hands underneath. Slide your front leg back. Take both knees wide. Touch your big toes. Send your hips back to your heels. Your forearms down and your head down. Taking gentle breaths in and out here. Then lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back, bring your knees together. We're going to start to work in Hanumanasana in a few variations, right? So let your left foot go forward again. Now, the Hanuman was a monkey from the epic tale, the Ramayana, and he rescued Rama's partner, Rama's wife, Rama's betrothed, from Lanka, where she was kidnapped by a demon, okay? So, when he was leaping from South India to Lanka, Sri Lanka, to Lanka, he did the splits. So that's why it's called Hanumanasana. So it's a kind of version of the splits, but don't feel you have to get to the splits or anywhere close. Inhale, reach up with both arms. Exhale, frame your front foot. And what you're going to do is start to squeeze your toes into the floor. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So it drags your heel a little bit further forward. I'm going to keep doing that, but try to use the exhale to relax, to let go into it. So you're not going too far. You're not going to the point where your body's super uncomfortable. And when you feel like any more would feel uncomfortable and a bit of a strain, then bring both hands inside. And let your knee drop from your shoulder and then back in. Or from your elbow, wherever it's landing. So your knee drops down, away from the center, and gently work with this. And if it's possible, you can bring both hands forward and let both elbows come to the floor. Okay, but just take your time with that and see how it feels. Okay, I'm going to give you one more option that's the trickiest of them all. So you might want to stop, pause the video, have a look before you do anything like this. So your hands go forward, your elbows go down. You take your left elbow underneath your left thigh. You bring it round your back your hand and take the other hand to let it connect. And you see how this feels here. Gently release that. Slide your left leg back. It's a fairly big posture, so don't be surprised if you relieved after that. Take both knees wide, touch your big toes, hips back in your heels, forearms down, forehead down. Taking your hips from side to side, your shoulders from side to side. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring your knees beside each other again, hips resting on your heels. Good, let's try it on the other side. Now, one side can quite often be very different from the other, so you've got probably one good side, and the other side is your great side. So take your right foot forward. And just do a little lunge, just to get it a bit warmed up. We've already warmed it up, but it doesn't do any harm to keep going with that. And then from there, inhale up with both arms. Exhale, folding forward over your front leg. A little bend in your knee, a little straighten your knee, okay. And then same thing as we did on the other side. We squeeze your toes into the floor. We gradually let our heel go forward. So it's like 5 little snails pulling a big massive house, a big massive shell house forward, okay. And just see where you get with that. Okay. If you're somebody who can do the splits, then good for you. Like, it's more than I can do. Okay. Bring both hands inside and let your knee drop out to the side and back in. Out to the side and back in. Good. And if it's possible, you walk your hands a bit further forward and let your elbows soften to the floor. Okay. I'm not getting quite enough room here, so I'm going to move back a little bit so I can find the right room. Okay, and then if it feels okay, you can take your right arm underneath your right thigh, take it behind your back, and take your left hand behind your back and let them connect. Gently release, hands on the floor, slide your right leg back, take both knees wide, touch your big toes. Now don't worry if you don't get anywhere close to any of that stuff. It's it's not easy, okay? Let your forearms come down, let your head come down. Then lift your head, lift your elbows, bring yourself to a seated position with your feet out in front. Okay, we're going to just have a little mess around, like with something I like to mess around with when I'm teaching in the rehabs. So we've got our hands on the floor, we've got our feet on the floor, which means we've got 5 points of contact, our hips, our butt, both feet, both hands, okay? Lift one part of your body up and let it come down. So you don't have to copy me, okay? Then lift another one part of your body up and let it come down. Lift another part, and maybe another part, and then maybe a final part, okay? So we've lifted all 5 different things up individually. Now try and lift 2 parts. So pick 2 things that are on the floor up. Okay, so it might be both feet, and then a different 2. Maybe both of your hands. Okay, a different 2. Might be your foot and your hip. And a different 2. Okay, there's lots of 2s. And a different 2. And a different 2. You get the picture, right? And there's probably many, many more 2s, but do one more 2. Okay, so maybe your hips and your hand, and one hand. Good. Okay, so let's see if we can do 3, right? So 3 things up off the floor. So maybe both hands and a foot. Okay, maybe both hands and the other foot. Okay. Another 3, maybe your hips, one foot, one hand. Okay. Maybe your hips and your foot and your hand from the same side, which is fairly tricky. Good. And back down. Okay. Try one last 3. So it might be 2 legs and an arm. And down. Okay. So we've done one thing, two things. Let's try three things, right? Four things, sorry. We've done three. So see if you can bring both four things up. It's probably only possible for most of us to do both arms, both legs, which leaves just our hips on the floor. I have occasionally seen people get up onto one foot, but it's quite tricky, okay? Shake off. Tap your knees up and down. In 2027, when we do our 31 days for then, not that we're thinking about 2027 yet, we're just in 2026, I'll teach you how to lift all 5 parts of your body up off the floor so that we can do levitation, but I think we probably need another year of practice before we're able to do that. So cross your legs, let your hips rest underneath your heels, okay? And just settle into a really comfortable seat. Or remember, you can always lie down, right? Get yourself in a position that works for you. And hopefully you've started to cultivate ways of doing this over the month that you find this comfortable and easy, okay? Now, if you want to do any of the breathing practices that we've learned, then bring that in. If you want to just sit still in silence, sit still in silence. If you want to use the humming sound, if you want to use one of the chants, Om, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Namaha Jyotiraham, Astoma Satkamaya, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. All these chants we've learned over the course of this month. And the most important thing is the feeling that you're cultivating. So cultivate a feeling of stillness and peacefulness, of steadiness and calmness. Keeping your breath smooth and slow. Keeping it steady. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Letting go of resistance. Letting go of restriction. Letting go of habits. Letting go of patterns. Coming into true freedom. And whenever you're ready, gently allow some movement in your fingers, movement in your toes. Stretch, reach out any way that feels right for you. Shake off, get nice and loose. Connect your fingertips to the base of your palms. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everybody. This is the second last day, the penultimate day of our practices for January 2026. It doesn't matter when you're doing them, obviously. If you've taken till April or May or June or December or January 2029, that's not so important. Tomorrow is our last practice, so we'll do some movement, but we're going to finish with a beautiful meditation practice called Metta Bhavana, which is one of my favourite ways to meditate, one of my favourite practices in the meditation practice. So we'll spend about 10 minutes-ish doing that. And we'll do a little movement to begin, just to get our bodies open, to get our bodies free, and then we'll do Metta Bhavana. Okay, thank you so much. Please let me know if there's anything that you were unsure about, anything that hopefully you've not snapped your hamstrings in Hanumanasana. That would be not that great. Anyway, I will stop talking because I could keep going for a long time.